1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I believe it takes 5 seconds for these to start. This will be proven. So today we're going to be talking about Nomadland, pretty much Nomadland, and we're also going to watch this, which I'm quite proud of. It's my first YouTube video, the top 15 movies of 2018. Tight 5 minutes. Tight. I couldn't believe that I made it that short, considering how long these are. And I talk about one movie, and it takes me 15 minutes. The fact that I did 15 and 5, it's crazy. And that's the goal, too, by the way. The goal is at the end of all this to make another video like that where it's going to be definitive. So it's the definitive best movies of 2020. And I got to bring it all down to a tight 5 minutes. That's the hard part. And I'll show you how I did it. But here, I just wanted to show you this real quick. This is the 26th Annual Critics' Choice Awards nominees. By the way, no one cares about the Critics' Choice Award ever. No one cares, really. But I just wanted to show the best pictures because these are all on the list. This is exactly what we're doing. Like, all of these, I have not watched except for one before making the list, making this project of doing a film every day. Except for one, of course, which is Sound of Metal, which is still the one to beat, by the way. And I still do not believe it will be beat. But, you know, here's the hoping, to be honest. And speaking of which, yesterday I watched Nomadland, so there you go. That's one down the list. But all of these are all over here. They're high, so we're gonna do them regardless. Except for one, which is Mank, which I cut purposefully. Which, by the way, look up here. Look at this image. Amanda Seyfried. Like, man, this image alone makes me want to put Mank back on the list. But I can't let that happen because of I haven't seen Citizen Kane, man. And it sucks too, because trust me, Mank will win a lot of awards. I'm guessing deservingly so. But we must not forget, it's because of Citizen Kane. If you're a critic, if you're a filmmaker, if you're somebody who considers themselves a movie connoisseur, seeing Citizen Kane is like required, okay? I haven't seen it just on principle, because it's like one of the only classics I haven't seen. And so as weird as it is, I'm not gonna watch it, right? It's gonna win everything, and then I'm not gonna feel bad, because of course it's gonna win in their book. It's like a thesis on their favorite thing that, you know, propelled cinema to something bigger. So it has a lot of baggage, which is why I don't want to watch it. Like, to watch Mank and appreciate it, I would have to take in that baggage real quick. No thank you. But all of these are all on the list. The Five Bloods, Ma Rainey's, Minari, all of these. They're all going to be watched, which, by the way, tonight, Promising Young Woman, because apparently Promising Young Woman, which wasn't on the list, by the way, we had to add it after, is fun. Apparently it's fun. So I can't wait to watch that. I'll watch that tonight. Yeah, and then we'll talk about Nomadland a little later on. But first I want to show you guys this, because not only am I quite proud, but it has to do with Nomadland, first of all. And second of all, I'm going to talk about the Eternals, big time, because it's the same director. And that's why I want to show you the list. So I'll do that right now, because it all leads one into the other, okay? First of all, I'm very proud of my beginning. I put this song, which is a classic cinema song, but usually I want to put like one of the best songs of the year. As you can see, it's very quick, tight shots of films, right? All different, usually to the beat. I wanted to put them to the beat. Like, see, she turns red as it drops. Point is, these are all my honorable mentions of that year. Every single shot is a different film that is great, but did not make the list. And that was my way to fit them in, you know? In the same way right now, this is horrible, but in the same way right now, every day I'm talking about them so that if they don't make the list, like Nomadland, by the way, is top 15, but low. So I don't know. Now it's weird because I'm hearing myself talk, so I'll talk over it. And then I had to like make sections, man. It's crazy because I have a few draws. So I have 3 draws, which shouldn't happen, right? So Black Panther and Avengers in one slot, Quiet Place and Apostle in another, because I couldn't. It's hard for me to cut it down to 15. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to let some out, especially when, you know, there's so many great ones. So yeah, I had a few jokes, of course, etc., etc. So then we go into the top 5, and this is what I wanted to show you. First of all, I got a Tom Cruise joke here.
But now it's
I forgot about this Tom Cruise joke.
I'm talking Mission Impossible Fallout. I'm talking.
There was no. I love this joke, and I can finally explain it all these years later. There was no action movies that year. There was none. There was only 2. So that was the joke, right? So it's, let's go action. Super pumped, right? And then I looked up tumbleweed footage to get this shot, because I'm like, man, I got to put a shot of tumbleweed in here. And as far as tumbleweed footage goes, you will never find a more action-packed scene of a tumbleweed. I found this.
I'm talking.
He's like climbing over a bush and jumping.
But seriously,
that's as badass as a tumbleweed will ever look. I'm quite proud of this shot, but you know, no one cares.
But seriously.
By the way, 6 likes, baby. We did it.
Thank God for my.
But
the night
comes for us. Great kung fu film. But again, we got to jump to the top 5 here. I don't want to spend too much time on this.
Martial arts movies.
Again, I'm talking over myself. Kind of weird. Okay, here we go. So top 5. Number 5 was Searching, which, by the way, no, it's number 6. Which was the first movie from the guy who did Run. That's the first draw that I have that I'm stuck with right now, which is the best horror movie of 2020. So I talked about Anything for Jackson yesterday. Fantastic. Gave it a 10. But the other horror movie I gave a 10 was Run, which was a ride, baby. The less I say, the better. Both of these, the less I say, the better. So I won't say anything, but Run is a ride, right? So they're both extremely different, but they both excel in horror. So, you know, yes, I can do like number 8, Run, number 7, Anything for Jackson, but that takes 2 slots when I can fit them in 1. So that's how I work it. I gotta work it. Lady Gaga here. I even make a note of that. So here we go. Top 5. Star is Born with number 5. Here you go. Number 4. The Writer. Every shot, by the way, is curated. Always, no spoilers. Very important to me. And it has to be a shot from the first like 15 minutes that showcases the film. And in this case, The Writer, which I have it right here, is the movie Chloe Zhao directed before Nomadland and of course before The Eternals. And the thing that's special about this film, first of all, 97% insane. I gave it a 9, I believe. It's about cowboys for real. Like, it's for real cowboys. The main actor, the main character, it's not even an actor. I believe these are real people that she filmed, and it shows. So it has like a documentary aspect to it, but pretty much he's a bull rider who fell and like injured his head to the point where he cannot ride bulls anymore. That's the beginning of the film. And then you go on this journey with like him dealing with that. It is, again, it's perspective. A lot of my favorite films on earth, the ones that changed my life, are I turned Southern right there, are always about perspective. That's why Sound of Music is my number 1, because it showed me the depth perspective when you lose your hearing, more than not only any film, but to a point where like I get it more than I possibly could. So Chloe Zhao is her name, right? So then we'll go into, we'll put some music back on. So yeah, she did Nomadland, which, quick thoughts, 9 out of 10, loved it. It's the same thing as The Writer. The only difference is it's Frances McDormand. She got Frances McDormand as the main character, but everybody else are real nomads as far as I know. Except for, she might have snuck in a few actors, but it shows you the perspective of these people that drive from place to place, usually in their RV or their van, just to survive, to go from job to job, that are horrible, by the way. Like, these are the worst jobs. They show her working at Amazon, and it's funny because it looks like to be one of the cleanest and better jobs she has. Like, there's one where she's a janitor at a campsite. So, man, like, you talk about the most nasty bathrooms you can clean. That's it, man. That's nasty. Like, side of the road bathroom, dear Lord. It's like horror stuff. But that's what she has to do just to survive, just to have enough money to buy food and basic necessities. Not to buy a house, nothing like that. Anyway, it's rough. And it's pretty sad. And, but it's fantastic. It shows you, again, the perspective of real life nomads. It's beautiful. But here's where it gets crazy, right? So she did a real life movie about bull riders, a real life movie about nomads, and more real than any film you'll ever watch. Like, they're not documentaries, but they're as close as can be. They're filmed that way. And I love it because she does everything. She's both writer, director, and editor. So the respect I have for this woman is gigantic. And I wouldn't be surprised if she wins Best Director. But here's the twist. She's doing Marvel's The Eternals. She's done 2 perspective films on, people usually in the United States, like in the middle of the United States, the heartland, people that don't get showcased ever. So her doing the Eternals blows my mind, because you could not go farther than that in terms of Marvel. Like, she could have done a Hulk film and it would have been like, sure, I could see it, right? But the Eternals are gods, baby. It's in the name. They are gods above everything. I did not read the original comic. I do not know the story, and I will not check it out beforehand for spoiler reasons. Because again, Kevin Feige said it was the best pitch he's ever gotten, which means Chloe Zhao, after doing Nomadland and being like, dude, I work with Frances McDormand, she's gonna win Best Actress, by the way, quite possibly. And she's like, look, here's my pitch for the gods in space, So, and I only have 2 guesses as to what that can be. So 1, it's a bubble, which means in the middle of the desert somewhere, there's a bubble that when you go in, it's like Wakanda, and it's like Godland, right? So they landed on here like in the 50s or something, built this bubble, no one can go, and then they're hidden in there, right? So it can work. Because, again, her style is documentary, it's handheld. It's very, you feel like the camera is just part of the scenery. And second theory is that they just land in the middle of the desert out of nowhere for some unknown reason. So, example, they're in space, they're partying, and then, I don't know, a villain just snaps his finger and then poof, all of them land in the desert with their golden suits, because they have it here. Boom. They have like up top, they have like weird costumes. And Angelina Jolie made jokes about the fact that she was wearing a gold suit in the desert. And that's the crazy thing. People, when they talk about this film, they talk about Salma Hayek and Angelina Jolie, but the real story is Chloe Zhao, the pitch, and what the hell it is. I cannot wait. When the trailer comes out, if you want to do yourself a favor, avoid it at all cost, because this movie can be anything. And the idea of that is so exciting. The one thing I do know, it's going to be grounded. It's going to be grounded with the biggest gods in the Marvel Universe. So it just blows my mind. So I cannot wait. This has now become my most excited Marvel film, even above Spider-Man, example, which has the Spider-Verse and has like the old Spider-Man from the old films and is becoming crazy. Ant-Man, like the Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange, that's gonna break the multiverse, you know what I mean? Like, they're going crazy with the films that are coming out. But to me, this is the most exciting, just because it's so mysterious. Especially when you think of the director's work. So Chloe Zhao is her name I will remember. Again, I go crazy on this, but like, seeing Nomadland and knowing that she's doing, it's just like, how, right? To me, it's crazy. So let me see if she wrote it, because I'm pretty sure she did. See, Eternals. Oh, she did Dracula. No, there's no date, so it's sus. But screenplay, baby, she did write it. So she wrote Eternals as well. She probably read the comic and did like, okay, I got to take on this. But it's crazy to me. Can't wait. And she looks fairly young, right? Yeah. She's in her 30s. Anyway, I'm very excited, is my point. Back to here real quick. So I just wanted to talk about that just because of the writer and how it led to this. So this is the writer. Look at this. My top 3. I'm so proud of my top 3, man. You have no idea how proud I am. First of all is Bilal, a new breed, a hero. No one knows this movie. No one. And I say this a lot, but in this case I mean it more than ever. Look at 59%, right? But 7.9, extremely high, especially for an animated film. It's one that is not like barely seen. I gave this a 10. It's from, I believe it was animated in Dubai, Saudi Arabia, right? So this was like their first film. This is Gladiator animated. Like, it's so mature and so like, it deals with like slavery and stuff. It's crazy. I love it. And again, I'm very proud that I put it at my number 3, and it like, anyway, Blind Spotting was number 2. Same thing, extremely proud. 94%. Because this one is, that year was, to be honest, the Black Lives Matters films, they've happened every year. I can tell you every year. I don't know why, but it's like a renaissance of black artists right now. The last 5 years, every year, there's been like 3 or 4 incredible movies about the black perspective. And dealing with heavy topics, especially shootings, unfortunately. And this is the fun one. It deals with that subject, and it doesn't shy away from it, but it's extremely fun, and that's what I said in the review, in the right here, is that it's like extremely fun. I'll show you shots right here. There you go. This is like the shots. Look at this shot. Like, it's just a white boy with like a black kid. It's just, and I say it's fun. Here I show people dancing. So blind spotting. If you want something that is equally serious and fun, and is a masterpiece in my book, blind spotting, you can't go wrong with it. And number one, which is so obvious, the Hideo Kojima, that's his number one. A lot of people put this at their number one, and not only of that year, but of all time, baby. Like me. Like, freaking, what's it called? The Sound of Metal, right? This year, obvious. Until it gets beat. But this could be obvious of all time. Paddington 2 is joy incarnate. I could not, like, it's the kind of film that makes you a better person. It's the kind of thing that gives meaning to life. It's so reaffirming. And by the way, don't take it from me, 100%. Like I've said before, 100% does not happen. Toy Story 3 has 98%, okay? That's the difference. The difference between 100% and 98% is one asshole in the world going like, nah, wasn't that good. And usually there always will be an asshole, because people like to be a contrarian. So when they see that 100%, right, a critic that is reviewing it after the fact can be like, you know what? I'm gonna screw up that score. I'm gonna make a bad review. They go into the movie expecting to hate it because they want to destroy this 100%. There's something about perfection that people don't like. And this is as perfect as it gets. I'm so proud of this. So Paddington 2 is must see. You have no idea. Of course, watch Paddington 1 first. It's fantastic. But still, Paddington 2. And I'm happy he left it here, right? Because he could have done a trilogy, but he's like, nah, because he knew, man, you cannot. It's like comedy or a show, right? You cannot follow perfection. You can only go down. So I'm happy he chose not to do Paddington 3. There will be a Paddington 3. It will be disappointing because it's not from the same director, and you can only go down. But yeah, so that was my list from 2018. But I'm just like, the tightness of it. That's the goal, is to turn all the minutes, like right now, I've been talking for 17 minutes, all this condensed into a 5-minute tight video that can be shared anywhere, but is also extremely revealing. You will find things that you wouldn't have found before, like Bilal and You Be the Hero and Blind Spotting, and The Rider. Like 3 of my top 5 are extremely obscure. You can expect the same thing for my list of 2020, except it will be definitive, and it will be, you will know it all. I will have spoken about it at length. That's pretty much it. Hey dude, hey Keystrokes. I'm so happy, man. Like the last few times, I got nothing in chat, so finally, it's good to see you back. But I know this show is kind of bad for back and forth, but yeah, I'm pretty much done. And games, man, I promise games are coming. Look, I know games will be, I plan on streaming my whole life until I die. So trust me, I will never run out of games. It's just now this movie project has taken hold. And as far as games goes, I can show you right now. These are the ones I gotta like finish, if you will. So Gears of War, of course, Far Cry 5, the DLC Vietnam. I do want to do some Scourgebringer. All of these here are must tries, so I have to just try them. Children of Morta, Ikenfell, Hypnospace Outlaw, Astroneer, Tuhu Luna Knights, Unruly Heroes, West of Dead, Wizard of Legend. All of which I will stream soon, but these will be quick, by the way. These I will finish up. Same thing with Yooka-Laylee and Ori. I have streamed them before. I will finish them, and then we'll get into a actual real schedule where every day will be a different game. But until then, I'll stream these games at random times, random places. But trust me, games I will never run out. So it's no problem. So after all that, Paddington 2, I love you. What's The Eternals, I can't wait. And Promising Young Woman tomorrow. We'll talk about it. Should be fun. So until next time, keystrokes, you're the best. Yeah, love and respect. Peace.